Your communication hub and literary arts center of SDO Isabela. SDO English Academy.
An analogy describes the relationship between words. Subject, verb, or teacher. One hand.
English Academy.
What a wonderful day, Grade 5 learners! Welcome to another on-air session packed with fresh and stirring learning experiences just for you. I know that you're very delighted for this fun-filled learning. I'm your teacher on air for this episode of English Grade 5, Teacher Heroes W. Torres of Angadanan West District. Before we start our lesson for this session, let us have an overview of our previous lesson. Can you highlight the best part of the lesson? I know you do. I am sure that you have learned enough about propaganda. You must take note that propaganda is a form of communication aimed for promoting or demoting certain views, perceptions, or agenda. Commercials or advertisement, be it a TV commercial or radio commercial, are some of the most powerful tools used to create and shape ideas or opinions of people. Political and print advertisements like posters on tarpaulins or billboards, brochures, flyers, etc. are propaganda with their own purpose. You have also learned the different types of propaganda like card stacking, testimonial, transfer, glittering generalities, plain folks, bandwagon, and name-calling. Moreover, propaganda is to benefit or help the sponsor. I hope you have well understood the types of propaganda based on the various learning activities that you had during the session. I know you are all eager to unlock another fun-filled learning for today's session. Before we start, make sure you are in place where you can hear our broadcast comfortably and well. I hope you have recharged yourselves for another chapter of learning in the English Academy. For today's session, we are going to learn about determining images or ideas that are explicitly used to influence viewers, that is, point of view. I hope that you have with you your learning activity sheets, a pen, and activity sheets which you can use later for some learning tasks. Let's start our lesson for today by pondering some thoughts about the power of images or pictures. Did you know that images help us in telling a story? As we always hear, a picture is worth 1,000 words. That is, images tell a more explicit message in less time. A picture has greater emotional impact than words alone could. It is a medium to communicate with others and to influence one's thinking. Pictures give visual information and can be interpreted differently depending on a viewer's point of view, like experiences and biases. People can place their own meanings to enrich the original message. Take a look at the picture of two persons pointing to the stakes in front of them in your learning activity sheet. What visual information does the picture give? Can you share it to us? Can you tell a story out of that picture? I know there are lots of information running in your mind to come up with a story using the picture in your learning activity sheet. You can write your thoughts or story in a sheet of paper as one of your tasks of today's session. Let's begin to explore the point of view of a story that refers to the angle from which the story is told. A story can change depending on who is telling it. The final selection of a narrator determines the angle or point of view from which the story will be told, as well as the amount and kind of information the reader will be given. A story can be told in three different ways: first person, second person, and third person. The first person point of view is when the narrator or the one who tells the story is talking about himself or herself and is also a main character of the story. First person stories use first person pronouns like I, me, my, we, our, and us. For example, I will go to the field tomorrow. The narrator in the sentence talks about himself or herself, and it uses the pronoun I. In the second person point of view, the narrator is speaking to you and uses the pronoun you. It can allow you to draw your readers into the story and make them feel like they're part of the action, because the narrator is speaking directly to them. For example, you should tell me the truth. The last type of point of view, which is the third person, is used when your narrator is not a character in the story. In the third person point of view, the narrator is not a character in the story. It uses the pronouns he or she or it, and it is the most commonly used point of view in writing. However, a writer may also opt to shift points of view within his or her story. This is usually done when the writer wishes to change the reader's perspective throughout the text. For example, Michael will go to the basketball game. The main character in the sentence is Michael. Let's study further the example in your learning activity sheet before doing the task in activity 1. In the sentence, Jasper bought some fruits from the market. Which point of view it is written from? You're right! It is in the third person point of view, because the narrator tells the readers about the thoughts of the character. In sentence number 1 in Activity 1, you are a good volleyball player. Who is the character in the sentence? Which point of view it is written from? Very good! The character in the sentence is you, and it is written in the second person point of view. Number 2. John gave me an expensive pen. Who is the character in the sentence? Can you identify its point of view? Great! The sentence is in the third person point of view, and the character in the sentence is John. How about the sentence in number 3? My father is a retired policeman. Who is speaking in the sentence? Can you tell its point of view? You got it right! The sentence is in the first person point of view, and the main character is the one speaking in the sentence. In number 4, he researched on the effects of climate change. Which point of view it is written from? Correct! The sentence is in the third person point of view, since the narrator is not the character in the sentence. It uses the pronoun he. In sentence number 5, we discuss how to eradicate malnutrition. Which point of view it is written from? You got it right! The sentence is in the first person point of view, and the main character is the one speaking in the sentence. How about in sentence number 6? They were given enough school supplies and they love it. Who is speaking in the sentence? Can you tell its point of view? Very good! The sentence is in the third person point of view, since the narrator is not the character in the sentence. Rather, the narrator tells the reader about the feelings or thoughts of the character. It uses the pronoun they. In sentence number 7, finally, we are allowed to go out after being quarantined. Can you tell its point of view? You got it again! The sentence is in the first person point of view, and the main character is the one speaking in the sentence using the pronoun we. Number 8. Her friend gave her a piece of advice. Which point of view it is written from? Correct! The sentence is in the third person point of view. How about in sentence number 9? The LGUs always remind people to wear face masks. Is speaking in the sentence. Can you tell its point of view? Very good! The narrator tells about the LGU, which is the main character in the sentence, and it is in the third person point of view. In number 10, it is such a great responsibility to be part of the interagency task force. Which point of view it is written from? Correct! The sentence is in the third person point of view. I hope all of you got all the answers correctly, and the learning activity helped you deepen your understanding in determining images or ideas that are explicitly used to influence viewers. That is point of view. This time, kids, I think you are all ready to tackle the next learning activity found in your learning activity sheet. There are pictures and sentences in activity 2, and you are asked to identify what point of view is evident based on the pictures or sentences. Write in your activity sheet whether it is a first person, second person, or third person point of view. Are the instructions clear? Alright, let's get started. In sentence number 1, looking at the pool, Mr. Idel said, "It's not deep." Who do you think is the narrator in the sentence? Try also to study the picture carefully. What point of view is evident in the picture? You got it right! The narrator tells about Mr. Idel, and it is in the third person point of view. How about in number 2? The sentence is, when Totoy jumped in, he shouted, "It's deep!" Can you tell the person's point of view as reflected in the sentence and in the picture? Very good! The sentence and the picture reflect the first person point of view, since the main character, who is Totoy, is the one speaking in the sentence. In sentence number 3, the roads are clean and wide. We enjoyed visiting the islands. With the picture as your clue, can you tell the point of view of the narrator in the sentence? Correct! The sentence is in the first person point of view. The main character is the one talking in the sentence, and it uses the pronoun we. Study carefully the picture in number 4. With the sentence, Father told his little son, "See how the fishes swim with the waves." What point of view is reflected in the picture and in the sentence? Wow! You're great! The sentence and the picture show the second person point of view. The narrator in the sentence is the father who is speaking directly to his son. How about the sentence in number 5? Mang Ramon and his son enjoyed watching the waves while crossing the sea. What point of view is evident in the sentence? Correct! The sentence shows the third person point of view because the narrator tells something about Mang Ramon and his son. I am so delighted, kids, because you are at the right track. You are indeed enjoying the learning activity. Your understanding of what the point of view is all about shows that you can really determine the person's point of view based on images and ideas. This time, kids, let's level up by giving the point of view of the narrator using excerpts or selections. Let's do the activity 3 in your learning activity sheet. Read comprehensively the excerpt or selection and try to give what point of view is reflected in it. Are you ready? All right. Number 1. Lucy thought of going to the field to pick some kamote tops for their lunch. While on her way, she saw an old man who was busy picking firewood. The farmer was so old that he could hardly walk on the 4 corners of his field. Lucy stopped for a moment and tried to observe the old farmer. She noticed that the old man was alone and he had a wound on his right foot. That's why he could hardly move. Seeing the old farmer in a difficult situation, Lucy immediately went to him and introduced herself. She helped him. The old farmer smiled at her and was so thankful to Lucy. What point of view is reflected in the selection? Very good. The selection is in the third person point of view. Number 2. It is midnight when you got the call. A crackly voice shouted over your radio. Officer down! Backup requested! All of the other things that you were thinking have left your mind. Your head was thumping. You arrived at the scene and got out of the cruiser. The air was filled with the accented sounds of gunfire. You drew your own weapon and crouched behind your squad car. You had no thoughts in your head. The only thing guiding you was your training. What is the point of view of the selection? You're right! The selection is in the second person point of view. Number 3. The stars were burning brightly in the night sky. The evening breeze felt cool on my skin. It was the last night of summer break and I was calm, oddly calm. It is not that I was excited to go back to school. I was not. School is a lot of work for me. But I was excited to see my friends again. And I knew that they would be there. What is the point of view of the selection? You got it right. It is in the third person point of view. Number 4. Kelly took her seat in the airplane. There were 3 seats in her row. And to her dismay, she was assigned to the seat at the middle. As the time of departure drew closer, Kelly grew pleased that she was still sitting alone. Maybe I'll get the whole row to myself, Kelly said under her breath. Just then, 2 tremendously large men approached. "Excuse me, miss. I have the inside seat." Kelly sighed. She knew where the other person would be seated as well. What is the point of view of the selection? Correct! The selection is in the third person point of view. Number 5. The stage was bordered with colorful lights, but otherwise dark. Yet in the center was a single spotlight. And in the center of that was microphone stand. I slowly walked across the stage with my hands by my side. The crowd murmured. I grabbed the microphone from the stand and cleared my throat. Then I held it a few inches from my face and said, "Greetings, my fellow Thunderhawks. Are you ready to get excited for the pep rally?" One guy clapped slowly. What point of view is reflected in the selection? That's great! The selection is in the first person point of view. I hope you have fun in learning on the task that we had about person's point of view as influenced by images and ideas. Always take note that the point of view refers to who is telling or narrating a story. The author chooses who is to tell the story. Depending on who the narrator is, he or she will be standing at one point and seeing the action. This viewpoint will give the narrator a partial or whole view of events as they happen. A story can be told in 3 different ways: first person, second person, and third person point of view. For your additional activity, write your reflection on what you have learned based on the learning activities that we had. Write it in a whole sheet of paper and attach your reflection in your learning activity sheet for submission. Should you wish to be clarified with the instructions of your tasks, you can ask for an assistance of your parent or your guardian, or communicate with your teacher to guide you. Don't forget to put your accomplished tasks to your learning kids. I think time is up, kids, for this session. English Academy will be back again next time for another fun-filled learning experience. With SDO Isabela radio production team and Ma'am Rosel M. Rycliffe, who crafted our lesson today, this is your teacher on air, Heroes W. Torres of Angadanan West District, saying that the capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. And the willingness to learn is a choice. Till next time, kids, goodbye!
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela!